And I'm back. Welcome back to Mellobotstudio. Oh, yeah. Don't you love delay? All right, check it out. This is going on YouTube, but I'm probably going to post it on the Facebook forum too, because I get so tired of people telling me to not use Reaper for video. So that's what's up. I'm going to post it there. For those of you who are following along on the videos, I've taken a little break because I'm working on a starting a project with my wife, and that's taken up quite a bit of my time. As far as the song goes that we were working on, I've recorded the harmonies for it, and I will be starting that back up soon. But in the meantime, I wanted to talk to you about recording or editing video in Reaper, because you can absolutely edit video in Reaper. I don't know how many times I've seen people ask questions on the Reaper forums and talk to people on the Reaper forums, ask questions about the video editing, and everybody's like, honestly, dude, just use DaVinci, just use DaVinci, just use DaVinci. Well, there are those of us that are not gamers, and when we set up our computers, we set them up CPU heavy to work on audio, right? We weren't doing video at the time, maybe. I don't know. I've been using Adobe Premiere Pro for years, and it worked great until it didn't, right? One update came out and the play button stopped working, and you can look it up. It happened to more than just me. And I thought to myself, I've been paying for Adobe for years. When it says Premiere and Pro in the name, well, the play button should probably be the one thing that does work, right? In a video editing program, like, shouldn't that be the first thing they get working and the thing that stays working the whole time? And then that's what made me start questioning, why am I paying for this? Why am I paying to be a beta tester, by the way? So anyway, I moved on. I downloaded DaVinci 20, and guess what? My GPU was full in 2 seconds, right? I know you can set up proxy servers, but what I did was take it back to 18 that has a backup proxy player built in, and it works great, the free version, because I don't have the budget also, right? Because if you're recording 4K footage, you probably don't need to watch this, right? Like if you're recording 4K footage, you probably have enough money if you're doing a 4K camera to also do a badass computer and an amazing setup and DaVinci Studio and all that, right? You're probably doing the thing, right? You don't need to worry about watching this video. This is for budget-friendly people who are looking for cheap or free options in order to be able to do things. And with Reaper, you pay $60 for a digital audio workstation, and you absolutely have a powerhouse editor if you're editing 1080p video, right? And most people are watching video. If you're not a gamer, you're watching video on a 60 hertz monitor anyway, and probably not even 4K. So most people might be watching on their phone. YouTube at 1080p is plenty. Besides, I use a camera hack called Magic Lantern. I have two cameras. I've got an EOS M mirrorless camera. I get up to about 4K on that. It says 4K, but let's be honest, it's raw video, so that's great. And then I got a 5D Mark II that I get really good footage. I'll show you some of the footage here in a minute, because I'm going to show you that you can absolutely edit video in Reaper. Now, if you want tutorials on what to do, dude, Kenny Joya from Reaper Mania is the place to go. There are other people that do other things, but Kenny Joya is the OG, and he's the man when it comes to this stuff. So I highly recommend watching his videos. And if you follow them to the letter, bro, it works out. Just do what he says do, and it works every time. So that's what I've done. I didn't know how to use Reaper at all. I came from a different program that I call Pudio 1 and didn't know how to use Reaper. But now I'm learning more and more and more. In fact, in this project, I had to use a plugin where I had to go look up a tutorial from Kenny just to show me how to use it. So let's get over here and let me show you a few things. All right. On Reaper. Okay, this is a project that I'm working on with my wife, right? She's a seamstress. She's actually a fashion designer. She's went to school for it, this and that. She knows what's up, right? Now, just in this intro alone, what I wanted to do in her videos is everything be out of focus, right? And then it come into focus as this fades out. So what I did was she drew the logo with a blue background. Let me turn this chroma key off. Oh my gosh, it has chroma key, right? So there's a blue background, right? You have to put the image overlay in there, or it'll look like that before it. And then you got to put one after it in order to have it fade in, the opacity or whatnot. Set it up at the beginning, the opacity. Now in this video, I will say I did have a little bit of jitter towards the end because I use a focus levers. I got them for 99 cents on eBay, and they screw onto your focus ring. And it's just a lever that you can use to do it. And sometimes I get a little bit of jitter, but I was able to use fade in to cover that. And let me show you right here. This is what I did with Reaper. Where you at, buddy? Well, let me get to the beginning. Here we go. With Reaper, okay? There's not going to be any sound. Okay, fade in, using chroma key, boom, zoom in, or focus, right? Now, these are the two cameras. This is all being edited in Reaper, right? Totally, this is a pan. I get a lot of it in camera. Now, I will say this. I do use DaVinci 18. I had to go back to 18 in order to use it. I do use it for color grading and to get white balance and stuff like that. Plus, when I record, it squishes it down. So I use Cinema DNG files. I take it in there and do all the things that you need to do to it to get it set up and stretch it back out to 16 by 9 and all that, and then color grade it and this and that, and then shoot it out to edit in Reaper. And the reason why I like Reaper is because, one more time, let's go look. Watch that CPU, right? It may be a little higher because I'm also recording it. You're looking at, 23%, 12%, 22%, 21%, editing video, right? CPU, it's what it's using, not GPU, okay? To edit video. Look, this is all done in camera. The focus pulling and stuff like that. If you can learn how to do that, then you can absolutely edit. I got sound down here. Where's that? I got a little bit of audio down here for later on coming in. I got some audio in the beginning. I have a little thing up here. Let me make sure we're looking at this. Yeah. Let me go over here and show you something else I did in Reaper, right? Created a text. I have it set up to where text is on top. Anything on top is going to take priority. It's set up. You can set that up. I had to set it up through tutorials. So it's like it's set up like any other program where anything on the top takes priority. So I have text, I have image for the chroma keying, I have some other tracks set up, and then, my cameras, whatnot. So over here, I had to do this, use control or command if you're on a Mac and make a track and then set up following Kenny's tutorial, for text. Now, I did find this text. It's not the text that comes with it. I found this on a forum. You have to search forums to get the right stuff. If you don't want to search forums, the Reaper blog guy has some of these for sale that I found for free in forums. But hey, he did the work for you, the legwork, and he went and got some. But check this out. I got it turned off while I'm editing, so it doesn't take up a lot of the CPU. But check this out. Was able to animate some text. Boom. What? What was that? Yeah, you saw it over here, animating. Animating text, yo. Let me get rid of this. Take it down a little bit. Let me just close that out. Animating text. Yeah, different color text too. I had to go find that. So there you go. That's what's up. Let me turn this off real quick. So you can absolutely... Oh, let me turn this off too. Boom. Right? I could have just turned the effects off, I guess. Whatever. I don't know how to use Reaper. But yeah, you can absolutely. Now let me show you how I have this set up, right? Obviously at the top is basic helpers, item, fades, effect, video. Otherwise, none of the fades are going to work. I have to put that on every track that I'm using. to fade in and out because I like that smooth fade into the video. Also, let me close that one out. You have brightness where you can control brightness and contrast, and it comes with the script. I just have it to where when I open it, all that's closed down to where it's just that, and that's all I'm having to look at. And then you can automate any of this stuff: brightness, contrast, saturation, stuff like that. So there's that. You got fade, shadows. You have RGB shadows, RGB midtones. So you can clean up some of the noise that way. Highlights, RGB highlights. I mean, dude, you got show curves. Of course, I had to find this in forums, so you have to go looking around. And then here's track opacity and zoom. This is what you would use, and you would automate for zoom if you wanted to zoom in, zoom in on that and rotate. You can do all kinds of stuff, anything you want. I don't know what this is. Let's see what this bottom one is. Yeah, basic helpers. I think this apply something or another. Track effects. I don't know. I had it on there for some reason. And then you can see, I mean, over here is where the music starts. I'm not going to play it because it'd be super loud with my setup. But right here, I used a remote control car, right? For example. Okay. Now, I used a remote control camera car that I got off of eBay super cheap. Let me show you into this next shot. I think it goes from left to right. Yeah, it's on a smooth plane going left to right. You can see behind the stuff that she's doing, really smooth, right? But I ran into a problem because for some reason the camera and the mic had some hiss. So I went and I looked on a tutorial that Kenny had, and I used this plugin that killed the noise. The background noise, right? The hiss, because, in audio, when you turn up something really loud, like a microphone, well, your equipment has a noise floor and you're going to pull up some of that noise floor. So these cameras, this pretty cheap camera I use, a 5D Mark II and an EOS M. I got both cameras for like $200. I use a Magic Lantern hack, and the 5D has a good sound, but the EOS M didn't. Well, I used the 5D over here, the sound. That's how I found out it was good, because I'm still troubleshooting here. And then the Canon EOS M had some kind of a hiss, so I got rid of it with that plugin by using Kenny's tutorial. Then I ran into another problem with this remote control car thing, right? Even after the hiss, well, it had an issue with some kind of a high-pitched noise in the 3K range that I had to go search for, right? And then I had to use this weird shape, band shape that I look straight up. Let me pull that out so you can see it. That's what I like about these ikmultimedia plugins. They're resizable. So there was this freaking, it's out. I cut it out, obviously. Let me turn that off. And you can see it. See it? Ooh, gross. So high pitched, and it still stuck out over this. You can see it right there, right? And I was like, what the heck? I have never used this band shape before. Even when I got this, or when I saw it in different EQ plugins, I was like, who would ever use that? What would you ever need that for? Well, you can stretch it out from and to where it'll be like, I call it the flat top. And I cut that out completely, so it doesn't show up in the sound. So that was a problem that I ran into. That was fixed and absolutely doable in Reaper. I don't understand why people keep saying, oh, honestly, use something else. This is that car going around in a circle all the way around her, right? Fade out. I love those fades, man. I love those fades. See if I can find some other. Yeah, here's that remote control car again, making the same noise. I got it on a little smooth thing. You got to keep it smooth or it'll jitter. It's got to be on a smooth surface, like a mirror. Best thing to use is a mirror, dude, like one of those wall mirrors. This is a pan that I did just out of camera, right? Or in camera. I mean, I did it on the tripod. This is straight up with the 5D. This 5D footage here. This is the EOS M. It's small enough to put on that little car thing. I just got some footage going back, forward, right? Here's the panning again with the 5D. little blurry background. Let's see what we got going on over here. There's me. I'm going to have to zoom in on that. At the end, I'm going to obviously break out an envelope and zoom in. Yeah, here's one that I did, I had to fix the pan or whatever. Boom. Anyway, you get the point, right? You can absolutely edit video in Reaper. Now, here's the cool thing. Use what you got. When you're like looking for budget-friendly stuff, the reason why I came out here is I'm going to set up this glide cam that I got years ago for like $40 on eBay. Never used it because then they came out with a gimbal and I was like, oh, I'm going to need a gimbal to video. And I never got a gimbal because they were so expensive that I couldn't afford one. And then I've got this and I was like, oh man, I found it the other day. I was like, oh yeah, I've got this. I can set up this glide cam. It'd be great with this little camera because it's not very top heavy. And then get some glide cam footage. Oh yeah, right? Use what you got. Use cheap gear. That tripod I got, 77 inches. 77 inches. Really, it almost reaches the ceiling. I have to get up on a step stool in order to look down so I can look down over her sewing table. I got it for that very reason. Now, the one thing is, this doesn't have a good head on it for panning. You know how I got those smooth pans in there? Oh, I picked up a tripod down the street that somebody was throwing in the garbage. And luckily, it had a good tension on the head. It's just buttery, smooth pans up and down. Dude, work with what you got. Those focus levers, like I said, 99 cents. And I just kept working with them until, they got those automatic cool rings and shit out there. But dude, what? I can't afford that stuff. I spent my money on audio stuff. Now I'm trying to get into video. Whoa, dude. Whoa. Right? So anyway, work with what you got, but don't let anybody tell you that you can't edit video in Reaper, because you can absolutely edit video in Reaper. If you're doing music videos, like I said, if you got that 4K camera, you probably got 4K money. You can, because you're going to have storage. Those files are huge. Hell, these MLV files off the Magic Lantern are huge. And then when I convert them to Cinema DMG, well, they get bigger, right? Luckily, I got some storage, but 4K files are huge. You'll have to work with that. You've got to have a computer GPU that'll do that'll cool. I mean, you just got to have it's going to cost you some money. And if you got that kind of money, bro, this ain't the video for you. But if you're looking for a budget-friendly way to edit video, don't let people tell you that, honestly, use something else, man. There's some other options. Shotcut, I downloaded that. I've got that because it's got a great denoiser. If you got too much noise in your video, it's got a denoise algorithm called Wavelet that just works. It just works. So there you go. I tried to use that, but I just love Reaper. I love the way Reaper handles things. I love that I get zero lag. Hardly ever anything messes up in there, and it just moves smooth because it's such a small thing. So anyway, take that how you will. Definitely give it a shot. Follow Kenny's tutorials to the letter, and you can absolutely use Reaper to edit video and obviously edit audio. All right. Y'all have a good day.